restrained. The galaxy believed it already knew the truth about Earth. Humans were young, divided, and weak. Compared to the great empires of space, their planet was blue and beautiful. But their power was ignored by all for hundreds of years. Alien fleets crossed stars and claimed worlds without fear. They followed one rule only: strong ruled the weak. Earth was marked as a low-level world, not worth respect, not worth fear. At the center of the Orion sector, the High Council of the Zorath Alliance met in silence. Massive beings of steel and flesh watched glowing star maps float in the air. One red line crossed a small yellow system. Earth, the shortest route passes through human space. One commander said, "They will not stop us." Another replied. With a cold laugh, the council agreed without debate. The order was given. A fleet larger than any human force ever seen moved forward. Thousands of ships turned toward Earth's borders. On Earth, humans watched quietly. No panic spread through the cities. No fleets rushed into space. Deep beneath the surface, leaders, scientists, and soldiers stood together. Screens showed alien ships moving closer every hour. A single question filled the room. "Is it time?" The answer came without emotion. Yes. A signal was sent. Not loud, not threatening, just clear. The message traveled faster than light. It reached every alien ship, every command bridge, every leader in the Alliance. "This is Earth. You are approaching restricted space. Turn back immediately. This is your final warning." The message ended. No threats, no promises. The alien commanders stared at their screens. Then they laughed. Some mocked the humans openly. Others ignored the warning completely. "A child world speaks like an empire," one general said. "They have no idea who they face." The fleet continued forward, crossing the invisible line humans had drawn. Back on Earth, the skies remained calm. People went to work. Children played. The world looked peaceful. But deep in space, something began to change. Old machines that had slept for decades started to wake. Hidden structures far beyond the moon powered up. Signals humans never shared with anyone moved through space. The galaxy did not see it yet, but Earth had stopped asking for permission. Long ago, human history was full of wars. They had learned a simple truth: if you warn once, make it count. Alien sensors showed nothing strange. No weapons charging, no fleets launching. That silence made some commanders uneasy. But pride pushed them forward. The fleet moved deeper, closer to Earth than any alien force before. In the dark space between stars, a massive structure unfolded. Slowly, its size was impossible to measure, its purpose unknown. A single human officer watched the screen and spoke softly. They crossed the line. On alien command ships, alarms suddenly flickered, then stopped. Systems delayed by a fraction of a second. Not enough to panic, but enough to notice. The galaxy still believed Earth was weak, still believed the warning was empty. They were wrong, and Earth was done speaking. The silence of the alien fleet expected fear. They expected human ships rushing into space. They expected noise. Instead, they found silence. As the massive armada moved deeper into human space, scanners showed calm skies and quiet orbits. No defense lines, no warnings, no movement. On the alien command bridge, officers shared confused looks. "This is too easy," one captain said. "Humans always talk about resistance." Another replied. They laughed again. Laughter helped hide doubt. From orbit, Earth looked peaceful. Blue oceans, white clouds, green land, human cities glowed softly at night. No signs of war, no emergency signals. The alien leaders mocked us. "Come, they have accepted their end," one general said. "They know they cannot win." But some felt something was wrong. Veteran commanders remembered old battles. Silence before war was never a good sign. Inside the fleet, strange reports began to appear. Minor delays in navigation, short signal losses, small errors that should not exist. Engineers blamed dust, officers blamed distance, no one blamed humans. Far from the fleet, hidden in deep space, human systems continued to activate. No bright lights, no energy spikes, just quiet motion. On Earth, underground control rooms were active. Human operators spoke calmly. Each person knew their role. They did not cheer, they did not shout, they waited. Above the fleet, stars looked normal. Below, space felt heavy. Then the first alien ship lost contact. No explosion, no signal, just gone. The fleet slowed. Commanders demanded answers. Sensors showed empty space. A second ship vanished moments later. Then a third. Panic tried to rise, but leaders crushed it fast. "This is coincidence," one commander said. "Humans are playing tricks." Orders were given to spread out, to scan everything, to stay alert. That was the moment fear began. Communication links flickered. Long-range signals died. Only short-range systems worked. The fleet was no longer connected. Each group was alone. Alien soldiers felt it. The deep quiet of space felt alive. Watching, on Earth, no message was sent. No threats, no words. Human silence spoke louder than any warning. Old alien records surfaced on forgotten databases. Ancient wars, lost fleets. One name appeared again and again. Earth's records called humans patient. They called them adaptive. They called them dangerous when pushed. Commanders dismissed the data too late. In the dark beyond Pluto, a massive human structure completed its activation. It bent light around itself, hiding its true size. Power flowed through it like a heartbeat. The alien fleet finally understood. The silence was not fear, it was control. They had crossed the line, and Earth was deciding how much mercy remained. On a human screen, a single word appeared. Ready? The galaxy held its breath, though it did not know it yet, because the silence of Earth was about to end. Humanity unanimously set it. The silence finally broke, but it was not loud. It was sudden. Across the alien fleet, space itself seemed to twist. Stars stretched like thin lines. Darkness folded inward. Alien sensors screamed with false data. Distances changed. Time felt uneven. Then the first human weapon activated. There was no flash, no explosion. One moment an alien battleship existed. The next moment, it did not. The ship vanished as if it had never been there. No wreckage, no signal, only empty space. Fear spread fast. Alien crews shouted orders. Commanders demanded reports. More ships disappeared, one by one, then in groups. The galaxy watched in shock, as entire formations were erased, not destroyed, removed. Hidden human structures revealed their true power. Massive rings rotated slowly in deep space. Fields of energy bent reality around them. These were not weapons of rage. They were tools of control. Human fleets finally appeared, not charging, not chasing. They formed a solid defensive line. Their ships were simple in shape, no glowing colors, no sharp designs. They did not move forward. They did not retreat. They held their position. Alien leaders could not understand this. "Why do they not attack?" one commander shouted. The answer, it came from old data. Humans did not fight to conquer. They fought to protect. Every alien ship that crossed the invisible line vanished. Every ship that stopped remained untouched. Panic took control of the alliance. Orders conflicted. Fleets turned in confusion. Some tried to escape. Others pushed forward in anger. Those who pushed forward were erased faster. Those who stopped survived. On Earth, human commanders watched without emotion. They had prepared for this moment for generations. Human history had taught them a painful lesson. War is chaos. Defense is patience. A human officer spoke calmly, maintained the line. The order was repeated across all systems. No pursuit, no mercy beyond the boundary. Alien scientists finally understood the truth. Human weapons did not fire outward. They rewrote space itself. This technology had limits, but within human space, it was absolute. Alien leaders sent emergency messages, calls for retreat, calls for negotiation. Earth did not answer. The galaxy felt something new, not hatred, not rage, but fear mixed with respect. Old myths returned among alien worlds. Stories of a quiet species, a species that warned once. Human ships remained silent. Their weapons stayed active, waiting. The surviving alien fleet pulled back slowly, careful not to cross the line again. For the first time in galactic history, an empire retreated without a battle. On Earth, cities remained calm. People did not celebrate. They understood the cost of war deep beneath the surface. A final system powered down slightly, not finished, only resting. The galaxy now knew the truth. Humanity was not weak, it was restrained, and restraint was far more terrifying than aggression. The final Ionether galaxy believed a war was over, but Earth knew better. The alien alliance had pulled back, yet their fleets did not leave human space completely. They waited, watching, Pride was wounded, fear was growing, and fear often turns into rage in the highest chamber of the alien alliance. Leaders argued loudly. Some demanded retreat, others demanded revenge. We cannot accept this shame. One leader said, a child world humiliated us. The final decision was made. All remaining fleets would unite. One last push, one final test of Earth. Thousands of ships gathered at the edge of human space, more than before, more desperate than before. The galaxy watched again, holding its breath. On Earth, alarms did not sound. People were informed calmly. Preparation moved forward in silence. Human commanders knew this moment would come. The final line was never meant to scare. It was meant to decide. A single message was sent from Earth, short and clear. This is your last chance. Turn back. The alien fleet did not answer. They moved forward together. As the first ships crossed the line, space reacted instantly. Reality bent harder than before. Stars flickered like broken lights. Human defense systems reached full power. Hidden structures aligned perfectly. The line became a wall. Alien ships at the front vanished immediately. Not slowly, not painfully, simply gone. But the fleet kept coming, pushing forward with numbers, with anger. For the first time, human fleets moved. They advanced just enough to hold the line. Human ships formed massive formations, interlocking fields of control, turning space into a locked cage. Alien weapons fired wildly, energy beams, missiles. None reached Earth. They disappeared before impact, swallowed by controlled space. The battlefield was silent. No explosions, no sound, only absence. Alien crews realized the truth too late. This was not a battle. It was a boundary. Every ship that crossed was erased. Every ship that stayed back survived. Fear broke the alliance. Commanders lost control. Orders collapsed. Some ships tried to flee, but panic caused mistakes, and mistakes crossed the line. Within minutes, the United Fleet was broken, not destroyed, corrected. At the center of the battlefield, alien command ships stopped. They powered down weapons. They sent a signal. We surrender. Earth waited. Human commanders debated briefly, then responded. Withdraw. Never return. The surviving ships turned away slowly. No pursuit followed. No final strike. The line remained quiet, unmoving. Across the galaxy, worlds reacted in shock. Empires recalculated their beliefs. Old power maps became useless. Earth had not conquered. It had defined limits. On Earth, people looked at the sky that night. They felt relief, not pride. Human history remembered what unchecked power could do. That was why they stopped. Deep in space, human systems returned to standby. Still ready, always watching. The final line remained unseen, but everyone now knew where it was, and no one dared to cross it again. The legend of Iatets, the war, ended without celebration. No victory songs echoed across Earth. No flags were raised in space. The alien fleets withdrew beyond human borders, slowly, carefully, as if space itself might react again. Earth did not follow. Human ships stayed behind the line, silent and still. Across the galaxy, news spread fast. Empires that once laughed, now listened. Worlds that once threatened, now studied. Alien historians searched old data. They replayed the warning. They measured the silence. Again and again, one truth appeared. Earth warned once, and meant it. On distant worlds, young species asked questions. How did humans win? Why did they stop? The answers were simple. Humans did not fight for control. They fought for survival. On Earth, life returned to normal. Cities stayed bright. Children still looked at the stars, but something had changed. Humanity was no longer unknown, no longer ignored. Earth became a reference point, a boundary on every star map, a name spoken with care. Alien diplomats sent messages, not demands, not threats, but respect. Earth answered slowly, calmly, on its own terms. Human leaders made one rule clear. Borders matter. Warnings matter. No new weapons were shown. No secrets were shared. Earth did not need to prove anything. The legend grew quietly, passed from fleet to fleet, from empire to empire. They said Earth was patient. They said Earth was silent. They said Earth never warned twice. Some called humans monsters. Others called them guardians. Humans accepted neither name. They remembered their own history. They knew what power could do. That was why they limited themselves. That was why the line existed, deep in space. Human defense systems watched endlessly, not hunting, not expanding, just waiting. The massive structures rested again, hidden from sight, but never gone, on alien worlds. Military plans changed. Old routes were abandoned. Human space was avoided. Trade lanes curved away from Earth. Not from fear alone, but from respect. The galaxies slowly stabilized. Borders became agreements. Silence became communication. Humanity had not ruled the stars. It had taught them balance. In ancient alien halls, teachers spoke of one lesson. Power does not need noise. Strength does not need conquest. Earth stood as proof. On a quiet night, a human child looked up at the sky. The stars looked peaceful again. They did not know about fleets, or warnings, or lines in space. And that was the true victory, because humanity did not fight to be feared. They fought so their children would never need to. The galaxy remembered the day Earth spoke, and the silence that followed. From that day on, one truth was accepted everywhere. Never ignore a quiet world. Never cross a line you do not understand, especially when that line belongs to Earth. Beyond the Alienee, time passed, but the galaxy did not forget. Months turned into years. Trade routes reshaped themselves. Borders were redrawn. With care, human space remained quiet. No expansion, no demands. That quiet made others uneasy. Across distant sectors, alien leaders met in secret. They spoke in low voices. They shared fear more than plans. Earth does nothing, one leader said. That is what worries me. Some believed humanity would one day rule everything. Others believed humans would. Disappeared back into silence. Both were wrong. On Earth, humanity watched the galaxy closely, not as rulers, but as guardians of their own future. Human scientists studied the effects of the defense line. They improved safety. They reduced risk. They remembered history. Every weapon ever made had a cost. Deep beneath Earth's oceans and mountains, systems remained active, not aggressive, but alert. Then one day, something changed. At the far edge of human space, sensors detected movement. Not fleets, not ships, something else. It was ancient, older than known empires, older than recorded history. The object moved slowly, carefully, as if it was observing. Alien worlds detected it too. Panic spread quietly. Old legends returned once more. Stories of watchers between galaxies, entities that judged civilizations. The object stopped near the human boundary, right at the line. It did not cross. It waited. On Earth, human commanders studied the data. They did not rush. They did not panic. Humanity had learned patience the hard way. A signal came from the object. Not words, not images. A pattern, complex, calm. Human systems translated slowly, carefully. The message was simple. We see you. The galaxy held its breath again. Aliens expected Earth to react with force, to raise defenses, to threaten. Earth did none of those things. A response was sent, clear and controlled. This is human space. We defend it. We do not seek more. The ancient object remained still, as if thinking, for the first time in known history. Something ancient showed hesitation. The galaxy realized then, Earth was not just strong, it was mature. Strength without control invited destruction. Control without fear invited respect. The object slowly turned away, moving back into the dark between galaxies. No attack followed. No test came. Alien worlds exhaled in relief. On Earth, no one celebrated. Humanity understood the message. The universe was watching. The line was not just a weapon. It was a statement. We exist. We defend. We choose restraint. Human children continued to grow under peaceful skies, unaware of how close the galaxy watched them. And somewhere far beyond the stars, ancient minds remembered one truth. There was a world that warned once, a world that stayed silent, a world that chose balance over conquest. That world was Earth, and its story was far from over.